Destiny returns. Ìpàdà AY. The day the call came felt like a miracle. It was a humid evening, and I had just returned from another exhausting trip delivering CVs. My feet ached, and my clothes were damp from both sweat and the sudden drizzle that had caught me near Yoba. I sat on the mattress, rubbing my tired legs, when my phone buzzed. At first, I thought it was my cousin calling to ask me to buy bread on my way home. But when I picked up and heard the polite voice of a lady saying, "Good evening, Ma, this is from GlobalTech Nigeria. You have been shortlisted for an interview for the position of administrative officer." My heart skipped a beat. "When?" I asked, my voice shaking. 3 days from today, at 9 a.m., Victoria Island office. I thanked her, wrote down the details, and ended the call. Then I screamed. My cousin came running, thinking something was wrong. When I told her, she danced around the room, shouting the praise God. Her children clapped too, though they didn't understand what had happened. For the next 3 days, I lived like someone preparing for battle. I washed and ironed my only good dress, a plain but decent gown. I polished my shoes until I could almost see my face in them. I rewrote my CV carefully, printed fresh copies, and arranged my credentials in a brown envelope. My cousin helped me plait my hair neatly and lent me her gold earrings to wear. Each night, I knelt down to pray. Oloron, Jo, Jeiki Ojo Yidi Ibiri Iron Oho Tonten me. God, please let this day be the beginning of my new journey. On the morning of the interview, I woke before dawn. The air was still cool as I had my bath and dressed carefully. My cousin pressed my dress again to remove the smallest wrinkle. Then she held my hands and prayed, tears in her eyes. "This is your day," she said softly. "Go and return with good news." Getting to Victoria Island was a journey of its own. I left home before sunrise, boarded a Danfo from Mushin to CMS, then squeezed into a Kiki to get closer to the office. The traffic was already building near Eco Bridge, but I arrived with 30 minutes to spare. My heart was beating so loudly that I could almost hear it. The GlobalTech building was massive, glass and steel shining under the morning sun. I had never entered a place so beautiful. The floors gleamed, the air smelled of expensive perfume and cool air conditioning. The receptionist smiled at me politely and asked me to sit in the waiting area. There were other applicants, all dressed smartly, some tapping nervously on their phones. I clasped my handbag tightly and whispered under my breath, "Oloron, Jo, Mo Ikeo Messiah. God, please do not abandon me." Finally, my name was called. A young HR assistant led me to the interview room. The walls were white, the table long, and 3 people sat behind it with files in front of them. I greeted them respectfully and sat down, my palms sweating. The interview began, questions about my experience, my skills, what I could contribute to the company. I answered as best as I could, trying to sound confident though my voice trembled slightly. They nodded politely, writing things down. Then the HR assistant said, "The final decision will come from our new regional director. He's young but brilliant. He just resumed last week." I nodded, my heart racing again. Then the door opened. He walked in. Tall. Well-dressed. Confident. He carried himself with the quiet authority of someone who had fought hard to be where he was. But when his eyes met mine, he stopped mid-step. Something flashed across his face, shock, recognition, and then something softer. "Aunty," he asked, his voice thick with surprise. I blinked, confused. "Yes. Were you once a teacher in Ibadan? Government secondary school?" My mouth fell open slightly. "Yes," I said slowly, wondering how this man could know. His lips curved into a smile. His eyes glistened. "You paid for my WAEC." For a moment, the room went silent. I stared at him, my mind racing back to that dusty evening years ago, the boy at my gate, the torn exercise book, the desperate plea. Could this man be that boy? You, I whispered, barely breathing. You are. Yes, Ma, he said, stepping closer. I am the boy you helped. You may not remember my name, but I never forgot you. My throat tightened, and tears stung my eyes. In that moment, I felt the weight of all my struggles lifting, the hunger, the rejections, the tears on the thin mattress in motion. It all made sense. Destiny had circled back to meet me. The panel looked at him in surprise, waiting for him to continue. He smiled at them and said, "Please, let's pause this interview.